Godspeed to the Speedy Tribe, man. How y'all doing? Back with another video. It's a special day today, and I got a special guest, man. It ain't a holiday though, but you know, it don't have to be a holiday to appreciate, you know, your dad or your OG, man. So, welcome to the video, Dad. Thanks for coming, man.
Absolutely.
So, today's topic is a very imperative one, in contrast to a lot of people. Why are fathers needed in every household? You know what I'm saying? And I just want to touch base on the fact that, you know, we live in a society, especially people that look like me and him, right? I'm pretty sure y'all can attest that households have been broken up, right? For the man and the son dynamic to be, you know what I'm saying, compromised, basically. And a lot of people growing up without father figures, and women too. They're not there to actually provide and actually grow and help nurture the kid from their perspective or under their merit. So something that's very important on why, you know, every man is needed in every household, you know, because men are providers, natural providers, you know, they're natural protectors. They have a certain energy to them that actually, you know, balances the dynamic between the male energy and the female energy. You know what I'm saying? They have to assert their energy a different way, obviously, in contrast to a woman. And, you know, they are the future planners and leaders of the whole ship, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, how was it for you growing up, and like, how was it, you know, how did you have a male figure in your life? And if you did, how was that dynamic? How was the relationship?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say hello to everyone that's out there. First thing I want to expound on is divide and conquer has been used to overcome races since the beginning of time. And it's more technical now, but it's still the same principle. When I was growing up, my father did live in a house until I was 12. And up until the time that he left, I did see a change in my development. When my dad was around, I was more sure of myself. After my dad left, I was like a wandering sheep, looking for that guidance that was tangible. I knew I was already spiritual by the grace of God. My mom and my dad instilled that in me. But when my dad left, that tangible power, I want to say, it was gone, and I felt lost. And I kept seeking it, and I started to look outside myself to fill those voids. That's where a lot of mistakes that I made start to happen. Right. It's very important for the male to be in the household, because all households should be led by a masculine figure. Why I say that is because when the neighborhood, so to speak, or society knows that there's a male figure in the house, there's a lot of propaganda that won't come to the door. There's a lot of behavior that won't be accepted coming to that door or within that house. There'll be a certain type of prestige in that family because it's viewed as being complete. I know for a fact it will not be influenced by what's outside of that door, because the male will bring his leadership, natural leadership abilities inside the household for everybody to look to or look up to.
Including the wife too.
Including the wife. That's why she's woman. She woes to the man. Not to say that she's less than.
Wait, say that again? She what?
She woes to the man.
Damn. See the etymology breakdown right there? Woman.
Woman. She woes to the man. She beholds him in his prestige.
And amplifies any energy that he brings.
Sun, moon, children, stars. You know, that's the analogy that I'm going to use. When there's no sun constantly over a field, which is the household, there's going to be retarded growth because the sun is energy. The moon has its light, which is the mother, but she can only give so much energy, so she has to take on a whole different role. She has to morph into something that she's not naturally. And this is why we have more alpha female, beta male relationships today, because the divide and conquer aspect of the shot callers,
you know who's? We call them the you know who's. Just say you know who's.
The you know who's, I should say, and I apologize if I offended anyone.
Yeah, because it's good white people out there. For all my white people, I love y'all. Y'all know who y'all, y'all know who y'all are.
But y'all also know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So let's keep it real.
Right.
When you have those things happening to where they remove us from the household purposely, right? The woman who it happens to has to make a choice whether to be subject to possible ridicule or less than because she's going with her man that's being castrated socially, or she's going to get on board with the separation process
and go against
the whole entire setup of what God intended.
Right.
Because men are providers or protectors,
right,
of his woman and his children and his household. Anytime a man leaves a house, his goal should be to bring at least, if not only one more dollar than he left with, then he did his purpose for that day. He provided. With whatever gift that he may have, whether it's being a speaker, a salesman, a builder, a coordinator, whatever gift he has, and we all have them as men, as human beings, but you tap into it to make sure that you bring that back to your family.
That's right.
And that's teaching everyone in that house that you go out and you bring whatever you produced back to fortify the house.
I want to piggyback off what you said about, because I study epigenetics and I understand like history repeats itself through DNA by way of DNA, and obviously I got 23 of his chromosomes and I got another 23 of my mom's chromosomes or whatever. But there's similarities in what he said about, at a certain age bracket, right? That there wasn't a male figure in my life at that time. I did feel like a sheep too. I feel like a wandering sheep at one point because, because of the system and because of, certain other circumstances that separated me and you at certain points of our lives.
Right.
I always felt misguided and I didn't feel right. Now, being a man a man has resiliency built in him already. Right. He just have to dig deep to find it, to ignite that, resiliency. As a growing young man, I had to find that through all my trials and errors, through all my mishaps and setbacks and stuff like that. I found the resiliency to bounce back, and I know I got it from him, but also I got it from just being a man of being a noble man, and
which you got from me too.
Right. And I had to find that. So when I found it, I started I multiplied what I found on that. So whatever lessons I got out of, being resilient and going through what I had to go through and becoming more of a leader, you know what I'm saying? I amplified it times 10. It's certain resources he wasn't, subjected to as a kid or growing up during my age group. When he was my age, it wasn't certain things it was certain things he wasn't exposed to that I'm exposed to. So it's more so like now that I'm 25, 54, right? We both now we teaching each other certain. He still giving me the game. Don't worry, don't get it twisted. But now it's certain things that he probably wasn't aware about that I get to give him too, and that we're basically exchanging and amplifying the energies that we're giving each other, the information, which is very important in any household. All those things intertwine with each other. So when I do have, my offspring, I get to take what he taught me on top of what I learned, on top of what I learned from other noble male figures too, because it takes a village to raise a child.
Amen.
It just depends on what village you in. You know what I'm saying?
Share that.
So,
let me say this before I mean for cutting you off.
Go ahead.
I want everyone out there to understand and don't get it messed up that women are needed just as much
needed. Yeah.
in the household. Like,
It's just the roles.
it's just different roles.
It's just the roles.
But for a child to be complete, right? And I'm speaking to the men out there who might not live in their household with their children, because of whatever circumstance there may be.
Yeah.
You still have a job to be a father, because I wasn't in a household with this young man, but I was his father regardless. Regardless of whatever, I still had to provide him with the information he needed, the understandings that he may have not understood, the conversations that he needed, the trips that he might have needed to take with just the males, because it's needed. Brothers out there, let me say this, man. Man up, right? Don't get all the emotional stuff. You leave that for the women, because when it comes down to that little boy or that little girl that needs your attention, because that's all they want. We can PlayStation them to death. We can Nike them to death. But that's not teaching them anything but to be unemotional, narcissistic, materialistic, and disrespectful. Because if we keep giving them all of these gifts,
You literally spoil them rotten.
right? No, and that's another part of it. But if we keep giving them gifts without merit, right, without accomplishments, or putting something behind it to give them incentive, then they have no purpose to look for, to have meaning by what they receive. You follow me? We can't do that. We got to stop giving them a game and go in a room, or sit down here and watch this TV all day and leave me alone. Absolutely not.
You give them phones and just leave them alone. You can't do that.
Can't do that.
You can't just give them a phone and leave them alone. You gotta
teach them how to use the phone.
You gotta build intimacy with your children as
Right.
well. You have to build a very strong foundation of, I'm here, I am your teacher, I'm your leader, until you are, at an age of majority, become your own leader.
Right.
Because most people say, oh, these are my, but sometimes you gotta understand there's difference between majority and minority. You gotta understand minors are the people who are, like, there's two different meanings of minor. So you got the kid minor, and then you got the minor of where minority.
Side.
Basically, you can't do nothing. You're incompetent to do this. You're incompetent to do that. I know older people older than me who are still at a minority mindset.
Yes.
Because they're incompetent to do certain things. But when you're at an age of majority, you are more, driven to
upper
do things.
echelon.
Yes, you're upper echelon type of person.
Right.
But yeah, man, those are like key tips, right, on like why fathers are needed in a household. And I just wanted to just bring this guy here today because he is the epitome, right, of resiliency, perseverance, rationale. He's a noble king.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of things that go unseen, especially in the household of the copper tone people. It's things that go unseen by the male figure, by the male head of the house. I'm telling you, you gotta understand is you cut the head of the household off, the body gonna follow. That's all that's coming with it. And this video is strictly just for the men. Women can watch it too, because there's a lot of women who understand this dynamic and how unstoppable it is if applied.
Right.
Women, we love y'all. Y'all are the portals that bring in these babies.
Right.
Y'all are great. Y'all are gods in your own way, and we are gods in our own way. We bring our godly powers together and nurture, what we got going on. I give you energy, you nurture. If I give you a seed, you grow it. If I give you food, if I give you meat, you whatever you want to
cook it.
You gonna cook it. If I give you a house, you gonna make it a home. Like,
That's right.
It's literally yin and yang.
Yin
It's
yang.
yin
That's
and
right.
yang. So when you understand those things and you
Mm-hmm.
don't overcompensate your duties, when you overcompensate your duties, you're gonna wonder why you're subconsciously feeling imbalanced.
Right.
You're gonna be feeling like, yo, why should I be doing this? Well, you're damn right you shouldn't be doing it.
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I don't want to take away anything from the mothers out there that's doing a tremendous job
Right.
raising men and women.
Right.
And I commend you from the bottom of my heart. Keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
But I can honestly say, and I know that the women that may be watching can identify, that there's a certain point that a woman cannot teach a male certain things.
Can't. Oh, God damn.
You just can't.
You can't.
And it's just like if I was raising a daughter, there's just some things I'm going to emulate. Cuz or
Whoever, some
auntie,
some
please,
woman figure,
help
some
me out.
female figure to come in the
You know,
picture.
and I only say that to say that once again, bouncing back to the brothers that are watching,
Right.
step up, sidestep the crap, because it's bigger than you and that woman that you beefing with. That's what I had to
bigger
come
than that.
to grips with, from my oldest to my youngest to this day. Okay, we'll deal with that another time.
It's about
What do he need? What's going on? Talk to me. Is there anything that I can do?
3.
Ask him.
Got 3 of them things.
You're gonna have bitterness because of what happened. The reason why a lot of people are still having this little breach is because of the pride and the
selfishness.
I'm not gonna lose this war or this
Entitlement.
battle.
Yeah.
And let the child suffer when the father can come in and just say one thing that child needs to hear. Because if it's any type of one of the either the mother or the father missing, you best believe that the child is searching for that missing piece.
Yeah.
It needs to be instituted so that child cannot be retarded in his growth or her growth.
Right.
Trust what I tell you.
Shout out to my mom. I love you. Thank you. Thank
Peace
you
and
for
love.
everything.
Peace and
I
love.
love you.
Everything you
Right.
have accomplished
Everything.
in his life. I
love both of y'all.
Of course you do. Of course you do. And we love you.
Yeah.
And that's why we
See,
both
and it's the
hit
thing, like,
where
I just want to
we're
say,
supposed
like, this is the thing that my mom taught me, like, things that I learned from her is unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
That's stuff a mom really gave, like, the inner thing, the emotional aspect is reasons why I'm so compassionate and I show empathy and I show, you know what I'm saying, gratitude.
Right.
And I also get that from you, but I also get the mental part from you, how to, you know, balance myself on a rational level and how to make conscious decisions to do certain things. Now, there's certain things that I learned from both of you guys that, all right, it's certain things I want to do different than my mom and my dad. And every rate I should, right? But it's to, you know what I'm saying, to amplify my life. You know what I'm saying? Because when I have kids, I want them to do better than me too. I want them to think like, listen, you saw the things that I did, right? I want you to supersede that in your own right, in your own way. Do what you do.
Right.
Just, you know, just remain a noble person at the end of the day. And that's what you guys taught me. And I thank you a lot. Thank you, Dad.
Got it, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Because, hey, I've always wanted you to see. Once he passed his sophomore year in college, I did my job, so to speak, because I got my associates, didn't go back, but he got his bachelor's. You understand? So, God willing, right, my grandson to get his master's if he don't go back, or his son to get his master's. So this is what
he's gonna get his master's through a different school.
Exactly.
Not no.
You know,
I'm about to get into
so
it.
just what we do, right? And don't ever get this messed up. What we do impacts our children. They are watching.
Always.
They watch every move, how you act, how you feel, how you do, how you say, how you walk, how you talk.
They're sponges.
Everything.
Even if they can't talk, they communicate by way of actions and vibes and energy.
Everything.
Especially when they're at, you know.
This is what I always heard. I just saw your twin. Where? Oh, I have to remember. I have a son that looks like me, built like me, walks like me. Talks like me, behaves, all of that. And I had to understand that I got to be careful. And this is when he was like only maybe 9, 11, because he was mimicking everything I did.
I told people that, look,
everything.
He telling y'all the story. Yo,
to the point it was scary.
9 years old, I'm out here working out with him and everything.
Everything. And it's a beautiful thing because I know that the most important thing all the child want is attention and for you to say that you love them and show
That
them.
you here.
Give
You
it
want
some
the presence.
time.
The presence.
Time
Yes.
is essential. Time, even if it's every day. You go by 5 minutes. Hey, did your homework? What you doing? The dad called me. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing school today? What you learned in school today? Just to show them that you're interested in them makes
All the difference.
most colossal differences. And I see it in my youngest. Just to call him. What you doing? Oh, Dad, I scored 100 points on 2 and okay, cool. But you know that those scores on 2K and all of that are unimportant. Let's talk about those scores, right? In your schoolwork. What did you learn today? Give them, let them come and see where their retention is, where they might need help. Just those little things. I know, just from my experience.
I'm homeschooling my kids.
I know for a fact it makes a big difference because it makes them feel that they belong and that they are somebody. That somebody cares about their day.
Yes,
that
sir.
somebody gave 2 minutes to ask them something they've been probably wanting to talk about. I asked my son the other day. I said, so what you learned in school today? You know, he talked for a half hour straight. No lie. A half hour straight. I used to ask him, yo, what's good, man? How you doing? What you learn in practice today? Or what you do in school? All the way home. Brrr, Dad, and how can I do it? Just showing time. Time is so important. Time is so important. And I would like for the women out there that understand where I'm coming from, right? If there's a wall that you know, if you drop it, it'll build a better future for the child that's there. Like, don't be selfish anymore. Like, let that wall down.
Especially during this time right now.
Especially during this time right now.
This is the perfect time to come together.
Like, let that wall down so that child can at least tap into the possibility
the other side.
to be all they can be, because it might be just that little thing. Not saying that you're not doing your job, but there's just
somebody got a job waiting for them to do too.
Right, it's a puzzle.
You got to complete it.
It's a puzzle. Man, woman, child. You don't just say
Some
mother, child,
yeah,
or dad and child. It's mother, man, woman, child. Man, woman, child. And they make us who we are.
Yes, man.
Children make us fathers. Children make you mothers. You can't be a mother without a child. Can't be a father without a child.
You can't.
You can't.
Got to understand that, understand. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do a part 2 on that one.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Peace and love. Like, comment, subscribe, share down below. Do all y'all want to do, man.
All
you know, life is speedy. So go. Peace and love.
One love.
The mic. And